Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Simon and we are the Whales of Wall Street. Today we've got a quick update on one of my favourite bags here, OMI tokens, OMI, and that is the Ecomi company, which is partnered with Veve for the app as well. So those that aren't familiar with OMI, go check out our launch video, which we did quite some time ago now, but we'll leave a link for that at the end of this one as well. So just a few updates on the actual project, which we'll go into now. So you see the flaming Elmo. This is actually in relation to 500 million tokens of OMI have been burned in the last few days from the Star Trek Day. So what is the Star Trek Day? Well, it's a big, obviously, community event around the world, across many platforms, and just this celebration of probably one of the most successful and biggest names after Star Wars, probably. Star Trek's massive following, of course, especially in Comic-Con and things like that, and it suits this project really well. We've said it multiple times about collectibles, movies, comics, etc. So what could you have done with OMI? You could have bought yourself a nice Starship Enterprise, which you can then superimpose on wherever you are, in front of you with the Veve app. So that's really cool, and obviously it sits in your showroom. I do think they could have made this guy, may have made it a bit bigger, to be honest. I think it's a bit bigger than that, but we'll let him off. It looks pretty cool, right? So that is pretty awesome. Well done to this person here. Ice is time solidified. Okay, so by the way, when you see this red circle in a lot of people's names and tags, they're generally fans of Ecomi. So there's a massive following for these guys, I'm telling you now, and rightly so. It's so early days what they're doing. You know, once they get big licenses on board, it is going to absolutely fly, I'm telling you now. So that was one of the other recent updates. The other update I wanted to look at that one in the car park. I think I might use that as the thumbnail. Excellent. So one of the other updates in relation to some Ecomi is this awesome news here. So they've started launching digital comics. And what did I say many videos ago? When you think about Comic-Con and things like that, you know, collectible items, especially in gaming and film, comics is 100% one of the things that you kind of get excited about. Even the dog agrees. So what I would say here is this is pretty awesome. So this is part of the Marvel licensing that they have as a partnership, and this is the next stage. Bringing comics, digital comics, to the platform on Veve that you can download, keep it in your collectible items as NFTs, and obviously read them, which is one of the main reasons of holding comics, right? But I've got a few comics like from years ago, some funny ones like Simpsons and stuff. I was never a gigantic fan of like Marvel comics. I do like the films and everything, but yeah, I totally understand the appeal to it, and why it's so popular. So there's various editions available. This is the 1992 imperfect edition, for example, 35,000 available, and loads of different options in terms of how rare they are, etc. So that's really cool. So do keep an eye on that. I think it launched today, so there might be a few left, or certainly, you know, big batches of these comics left. So go check that out. That's a really cool addition, in my opinion, to the Ecomi family and the licensing portfolio for sure. So that is mainly the key updates for OMI, and now let's go into the chart and we can do a bit of a reflection on where we are with Ecomi chart wise. So before we do that, please make sure that you like this video if you find it informative, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and make sure you press that notification bell to ensure you get notified of all the awesome updates we have available to you guys in the future. So let's take a look at this chart. I've just drawn this in. This reflects from the point of the 21st of July, just to give you an indication of the percentage growth pattern here. So this is actually quite phenomenal in my opinion. People always complain about the Ecomi price. Well, you need to understand the tokenomics first before you get too bogged down in what the price is, whether it's good or bad or not. The fact of the matter is, like, this project, guys, is absolutely huge. It's going to have gigantic potential in the future, of course, and it's something, like I've said in the previous videos, you know, collectibles, this whole NFT process, events, Comic-Con, esports, film, music probably eventually as well. This is what this is all about. It's about the integration of all these really cool things that everyone at some point in their life has either had collectibles, or certainly there's a big majority out there that have collectible items and continue to do so. So I truly believe in this system. The tokenomics obviously is burning, so we just mentioned about the 500 million being burned through the Star Trek one. So when you buy things on the platform, you burn the tokens. So when you look at the supply and you go, wow, this is massive, it will come down over time, especially as more and more things launch. We've always had like Ghostbusters, Batman, Spider-Man things as well through Marvel, and now we've got Hulk elements coming. And all it takes is things like maybe The Simpsons or Pokemon or something to come on. I tell you what, right, I haven't got any of these NFTs yet, but I'm telling you now, if there's a Pokemon one, I'm 100% all over that. And if there's a Simpsons one, I'm definitely getting a limited edition Mr. Burns, because he is excellent. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing that happen one day in the near future. You never know. But of course, licensing, you can actually go to like license events, and I never kind of clocked onto this through work and stuff. I've been to a few in the past, like brand licensing, but I never really sort of clocked onto this sort of thing being applicable. And actually you could probably attend these kind of events and go, yeah, actually, do you want to do a partnership? Like, we'll make your assets or your products into NFTs and that sort of thing. So, and going to events and getting people to like scan when you go to someone's stand, you get like maybe a limited edition token or something. So there's loads of possibilities, like really cool possibilities for that. I'll just get rid of myself again. So back to the chart before I carry on waffling about this awesome project. OMI is my homie. So I just drew these trend lines in previously. We're very much on track with that. Now, what I would say with this particular token and this chart is it's going to be very much dependable on what the project is doing. Okay, all I will say is like the best time right now is now, arguably, in terms of the price point. Yeah, even like way back when I was buying them even slightly lower than this, what it is now, back in the early part of the year. And then obviously we had the big tail up and a bit of a drop down, and we're back to this kind of square one mentality. But if you have the long-term approach like I do, it's a perfect opportunity to bag tokens as cheaply as you can, because they will be dropping gigantic names of NFTs as time goes on. And you don't want to be in that position like a few years time where you're scraping the barrel and you really want to get hold of something, but you have to spend a fortune on trying to obtain the tokens. So that's what I would be suggesting at this point in time, around this kind of period. In terms of the price aspect of the token, I mean, we've had previous all times all the way back up here, which were absolutely phenomenal. Highs well over the 1 cent mark, and I know that sounds really silly, but that's actually a massive achievement for something that was so lowly valued, and also because of the massive supply that they have. But in time, that supply is going to disappear. Okay, so the chart analysis doesn't really reflect too much, in terms of like as a trading element. I just see this as something you've got to consider. I'm just being honest, like, this is my opinion. Like, of course, people can trade this, and if you're clever enough to know about the announcements and the timings and things, absolutely crack on. But for me, I'm actually thinking, oh wow, okay, I can get some more tokens right now, so that if something drops in like a year's time or 2 years time, like maybe they'll add like soccer, football, and all of this sort of stuff to their portfolio. And then as the games of blockchain develop and you can take your NFTs into your games, that's when it's going to start taking off. So that's how I envision this project. But for those that are doing some trading on this, I've put this little area in here just in case we drop down to this. And the only reason I put it down there is because the RSI is sort of flicking about that middle area, and that to me sort of indicates that it could go either way. But you've got to look at this MACD aspect here. The narrowing has occurred. We have the Hulk launch today, but I have a feeling that most people have obtained these tokens around here because they knew about the Star Trek drop and probably had their minds on the Hulk ones as well. So we're probably seeing the tail off in the sense that people have done them, or perhaps they've missed out on the additions that they've wanted and the price has completely dropped. We obviously had the Bitcoin nonsense as well over the last couple of days. But to be fair, it has pretty much retaliated very well. So we're looking at trying to get a support mechanism here around that 0.0036. And if we can do that and hopefully try and stop this MACD switch over here, we can start pushing back up again. So my anticipation is we've had this correction. I don't expect this to go on for too long, and I don't really expect us to go all the way right down here again, because we have had multiple tests at that level, not just recently but in the past as well. And I would like to see, as Ecomi's projects boosting up, that this does start tailing upwards. However, we are still within our remit of this line here, and I do anticipate that we'll have a slow gradual slope upwards, so that by the time we get to October we may just be getting back towards potentially that sort of 0.046 and slightly above, to maybe even 0.5%. And again, that sounds ridiculous, but when we come to maybe the end in October, mid-October, end October towards November, I'm starting to expect us to potentially hit, you know, very much higher highs for this one, in my opinion. And if we were to go and have a look at this, there is no reason why Ecomi could not go and surpass 5 cents this year. I know it sounds like it's not a lot, but that is a substantial amount of percentage growth. And in fact, if I just move, in fact, I'll put a new one in here just to emphasize that. How you might think like, oh, that's not really that big. Well, actually, it kind of is, to be honest. If I just move this all the way up to, let's just say arguably that it's around this mark. That's an 800% increase, okay? So, you know, thinking of it as a trading perspective and a thought process around that is a gigantic leap from today's point, okay? So that is basing it on the long-term fib retracement chart here, not the short-term one. And yeah, I think that is possible, 5 cents. Some people are saying like $1, and I think you just need to sometimes be a bit realistic that I think the project is so early. And of course, in a few years' time, that might happen. And you know what? I'm not saying that I don't want that to happen. Obviously, I want it to happen because I've got, well, I'm not going to shout how many I got, but it's a substantial amount of OMI tokens to be able to go and get the boat that I want. And hence why one of our logos is the OMI boat, of course, because we believe in the project that much. But I'm going to keep it like realistic at that perspective, that 5 cents is probably a really good achievement to get. If you go to $1, guys, like from where we are now, we're talking about obscene numbers, right? I'm not saying that's not possible, because we have seen multiple projects do 3,000% year to date kind of thing as well. But we are entering kind of like that big last run, so anything is possible. But I would be really happy to see a 5 cent minimum because of where I purchased them. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we're on a bit of a downward slope at the moment, but I do anticipate that to correct and start getting to push up to this near enough 0.004 line and get ourselves back up towards that 0.5% mark. And I do hopefully anticipate that really happening towards the end of this month to then push on further upwards. So really exciting. Let us know in the comments below if you are holding OMI, and more importantly, are you holding any of the NFTs or collectibles through the Veve app? I'm really interested to know which ones you got, which ones you're super excited about, and you know what ones you're looking forward to in the near future, and what licenses do you want Ecomi to push, because we do communicate with them quite a bit on Twitter and everything, so we'll make sure that everyone's points are heard in the next sort of space meetups on Twitter, etc., to ensure we push that as much as we can. So yeah, that's just a few updates, guys, and a bit of a chart update. You know, if you're a trader or you're just holding them just to try and get tokens in the near future or the long-term future, there's plenty of different, you know, variations of how you can see this project and this chart. So think about that when you are purchasing them and making your decision, and do your own research on the project as well. Of course, download the app. It's the best way to learn about it, to be honest. Download the Veve app on your phone, get some OMI tokens, try and buy an NFT and see what you think, and then you understand the concept. So guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it informative, and we will see you guys hopefully in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.